Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony, and along with my four co hosts, Chris, Leon, and Marcus, this is the second episode of Hard Knock Hawks. Today, we are going to be covering Media Day. We are going to be covering not all the interviews, but a bunch of the interviews today. We're going to be talking about how it impacts the Hawks and player impact and player signings that could affect the Hawks in the future and including now. Before we start, we would like to thank every single person that has interacted with the account and the podcast for the first episode. It means the whole world to us that we got like such a positive reaction to the podcast. Like we tweeted out, any criticism or just liking or retweeting or just following and liking the podcast is appreciated. It means the world to us. But with that being said, who wants to start first with today's media day?
Well, it was yesterday's media day,
Oh,
but
yesterday's media day, yeah.
I will say the main thing everybody was hyping Dyson, and that's all I needed to hear. That was music to my ears. Every time somebody brought up Dyson, I smiled. I smiled like I was Dyson, and that's all that mattered to me. I'm kind of sick that Onyeka is hey, it's not 100%, but hey, we'll get to it. They said everybody's been developing. Everybody's been on their trajectory. We got some things about Kobe Buffkin I want to put out there a little later. I'm not gonna get into it right now because I don't want this part to be too crazy long. But yeah, somebody else can take the floor.
Well, it was nice hearing Quinn say something. He hasn't really said anything all offseason. He looked nice and rejuvenated. I think Coach got some sun this offseason. But what he did reveal a little bit about what they're trying to do this year is that they're trying to play through the pass and move the ball around. And he was really emphasizing that. And the players themselves were talking about playing fast. So I'm excited to hear Quinn speak. I think we touched last episode about wanting to get some motion back in the offense, and he was talking a lot about Kobe, or not Kobe, but Dyson Daniels cutting a lot, cutting to pass, guys moving around. So hopefully, it sounds like that's the plan. They're trying to get up and down the floor, and Trey was talking about that today, I think. So yeah, I'm excited for at least the style they're going to be playing and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, my two biggest takeaways from media day is of course not being 100%. Um,
It hurts.
yeah, gonna have to suffer another year um, from Mr. Rebound himself and Zach explicitly calling himself a shooting guard within the first 2 minutes of his media availability was notable to me. Um,
He thinks
because
he's
in that
KD.
question, I mean, in the answer of that question, he didn't have to say that. He chose to say that, and that means something. So, hey, if you think you're KD, that's cool. Nobody will ever be KD. We know that. But I mean, if you can give me 70% of that, I won't be. I'll take it. That would be a win in this draft, as they called it the weakest draft ever. So,
Facts.
um, like everybody said, it looks like they want to really play fast. They emphasize defense, playing through the pass, and um, really hammering home their system this year, as opposed to last year, where it was a lot of your turn, my turn, and new starter and Jalen, and the partnership between Trey and Dejounte that didn't really exist. So
Yeah.
I'm, in short, I will explain throughout this podcast why I'm extremely excited for this season. 47 wins.
All right. Since we are on the topic of media day, man, y'all boy D Hunt called himself an all around player. Y'all want to speak on that because I haven't seen this all around player, but maybe he's bringing that all around player this year. Maybe
Uh,
that's one of the things Quinn was hyping up apparently. DeAndre all around ball.
I get the DeAndre Hunter hate, but I think with Dyson Daniels here, it's gonna make his defense better. And in past seasons, he's shown himself to be like a good shooter. So I mean, I think he is an all around player. I hope that he can be better in like Quinn's system because
I mean,
especially off the bench.
he
Yeah,
was.
like I think he can be better in Quinn's system. I think he can make those strides and continue to be better. It's just that my main concern is that is he gonna be like the backup four or is he just gonna be the backup three? Because if he's gonna be the backup four, I think there's gonna be some problems because of the fact that he is not a great rebounder or rim protector. So I would just rather
Didn't
not
you
go
just
with
say he
that.
was an all-around player?
I mean, I never. Okay, Chris, I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not saying. I think he has some. I don't think he's like the worst player
When
in the
trying to
world.
play devil's advocate goes wrong.
Okay,
Gotta believe in what you say, man.
I
Look,
I do.
at the end of the
Okay,
day,
okay, go ahead.
I mean, look, he should be confident in himself, professional athlete. He's got to do what he's got to do. I would say his peripheral stats are kind of balanced across the board, right? He's got the same in rebounding, assists, and steals and blocks.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I'd rather move on to Dyson, who said some really nice things in his presser media day. One thing I really liked Dyson talking about is like all he talked about was defense. And then on offense, he's like, and on offense, I'm standing in the corner a lot and I'm going to look to move the ball. I'm like, hey, brother, that's what I like to hear. Like, be a role player and buy in. Like, everyone doesn't need to take their time on the ball and they're trying to
Everybody
play
doesn't need to
quick,
be
right?
a star.
And yeah, and from what he was saying, he sounds like he's bought in. Zach sounds like he's excited
I'm really excited for
about how
Zach
they're
this
playing.
year. Like
Yeah,
everyone's just
everybody
been praising
sounds
him.
really bought in,
Yeah.
and it sounds like they really are playing the style that they like right now. And that's great. If the guys are enjoying what they're doing on the floor, then the success should follow, hopefully.
Yeah, funny thing, I believe somebody asked Zach. Somebody asked him, Hawks fans have been waiting for a number one pick for a number of years, and they finally got one, and it's you. What does that mean to you? Blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. And he basically said, I just want to hoop, help my team win. In short, I don't really give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's not who I was as an athlete, but I'm happy that that's who he is because that's
Well,
what we need is as a guy who's just gonna come in as we talked about in the last episode and do what they're told.
Yeah.
you
Not
know,
like, Is
big
They don't-
capable
hey.
of doing those things. He's actually capable of
they
doing
don't have
no egos
drafts
this
they,
year.
Yeah.
they don't have drafts overseas. Look, in America, you grow up, you want to be number one pick. He grew up, he just wanted to be a part of the team. Like, even when they were interviewing him, it was just about fitting in whatever coach wanted him to do, playing his role, right? He just wanted to make a team. Some people want to be the number one pick to build their brand and all that stuff. But yeah, if he's a good team player, then that's really what we need, especially that's what Quinn is trying to build, right? Guys that move the ball.
No egos this year. That's a big thing. No egos.
Yeah.
I don't get my way in the last 5 minutes, so now I'm about to throw a hissy fit in the locker room, or I didn't get the last shot because I feel like I'm the best player, so no hissy fit in the locker room. Or,
Okay. You're making this so obvious now.
you
Selfless ball, selfless basketball, selfless team
you
basketball.
I didn't get my way, so now my dad is defending me on Twitter.
Oh wow, he's cooking.
Swing the rock.
So it's good. No egos this year. Everybody wants to play team basketball, and we're not, like we said last episode, nobody's married to anything. So you can actually play a lineup that fits whatever you need to go against. Jumbo package, 3-point, fast and dash. We're not. It's fun now. It's fun. I actually am excited.
Well, they do have
We're only
they
playing
have
off
a
the court this year.
Yeah, I was literally. It's funny you say that because I was going to say up and down the roster, nearly they have a bunch of guys that really can go in terms of just running. Right, a lot of young legs. Even Onyeka, like that's kind of his specialty is his movement ability as a big. Zach is a runner, definitely looked really fast in the film I saw, and then he showed a little bit of that open court burst in summer league. He looks like he might be more of an out jumper than an up jumper, which is fine. He's 6'9", and if he's on the move, it's going to work. And you got Jalen as the other vertical athlete. Like they got a bunch of guys that if they're moving up the floor, like I think one thing Quinn said was that it's easier to or you get past half court faster with a pass than dribbling it. And if that's the plan this year, right, get up the floor as fast as possible and attack one. That should alleviate anyone's worries that Trey's going to be hogging the ball, because if the plan is to get the ball up the floor, like, I mean, whoever gets it up the floor is going to be probably initiating the attack. And that kind of goes into what Quinn was trying to do last year, right, where it's like you get the ball, you drive, move it to someone if you don't have it, then relocate and get it and drive, right? So if that's what they're trying to get going from minute one, like, or second one, they're on the floor, and I like it.
Facts. Fun times are definitely ahead of us, and that's very needed, very much needed, because last year was stressful.
Yeah.
Very,
They do.
very stressful.
They generally say like
Yeah.
scheme change is going to come with a coaching change, but they also don't add like you got to change over the roster a bit too, and it's hard in the NBA about these guaranteed contracts. So they finally got a group in that kind of reflects what Quinn has been trying to do. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Speaking of changing groups and players, like I think probably one of the biggest things about media day was a quote from Landry Fields that basically said they were talking to Cody Zeller's camp about like options for him.
He's gone.
We don't know that yet, but there is a chance that he could get bought out. Like they could just buy him out for like the whole contract or just a small portion. With that's basically how that works. So if he did get bought out, like, do you guys expect them to just sign like a player from the training camp, or
I'll call first.
or just get a free agent from somewhere?
I expect them to very much go sign a vet guard. I've said this earlier on Twitter. I said this in the group chat as well. Them getting this also plays into it. Landry saying that Kobe is very much still on a developmental path, and you can interpret that how you want. You can read it how you want. You can do it how you want. Him saying that Kobe is still on a developmental path got me thinking, if that is truly true, then us going after Tyus Jones makes sense, because they feel like we just probably do need another backup guard, because maybe they want Kobe in the G one more year. That's why they're adding all these players to the G League roster to make it good. Make it a little somewhat better. Maybe they want Veet to run some backup. I don't think Kobe is like the bona fide backup point guard right now. So I very much feel like they're going to go sign somebody.
Yeah, I think there is a good chance they could sign a backup point guard. It's just who would be that guard?
DSJ.
Dennis Smith Jr. Like, I think that would be good. It's just he's more defensive minded, and my question is,
Can't shoot.
Yeah, he can't shoot either. It's like a bunch of the guards left. They're either basically defensive minded guards, or they can't shoot. So
yeah, that's kind of the issue at this point, right? There's not many guys to pick from. Honestly, I feel like if they're buying them out, it's just to get down to what they need to. I don't know if they're going to bring in a body to replace him at any point, especially there's not a rush at this stage. I think if they're really looking to bring in a vet, it'd likely be via trade at some point during the season. But they literally have to get their roster down to 15, right? Aren't they over? It's like they got a lot of people.
I think
5 centers at some point. So
Barlow's on a two-way. I think we're at 15 actually.
Yeah, I think they may have got it down to 15 by now.
Yeah.
If not, they did. Yeah, I feel like when I looked at the training camp roster, everybody who wasn't on a two-way or an Exhibit 10 or a training camp contract, and it came up to 15. I can check again. but I'm pretty sure we got it down to 50. I can't remember who we cut though. Oh yeah, we got rid of Bruno.
Yeah.
Poor Bruno. But then we got Barlow. So not much lost.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think when it comes to Cody, I think it's going to be something where one of those two ways get promoted, or
Yeah.
like
Camp guy.
it's going to be a camp. It's going to be somebody who's already there gets promoted, and then I think they'll find a way to give Nico that contract, whether it's the two-way, if they promote somebody off a two-way, or
Nico just signed with College Park.
yeah, but that they can convert that to like a real two-way. They can convert that to a two-way contract, or they could just give him a real contract.
I mean,
Nico's injured. He's not going to play
yeah,
for a
I-
very, very
Yeah,
long
probably
time.
not.
They're just
Like-
stashing him in College Park.
He's rehabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is valid. That's valid. The injury happened here, so you want him around the team as much as possible. You want him to still get a feel of the system while rehabbing. Not
Yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
a big issue with like that backup point guard role is that any vet is going to want a guarantee, and they're going to want some real money. And one, we don't really have anything more than a minimum
But we
to
do
offer
have
anyone, and we don't
We have
really have
MLE
like
still.
the well. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to the minutes too, right? Because they're going to want real minutes, and even the Trey's backup role isn't a real role. Like Trey plays a lot of minutes. Like the guy coming on behind him, he's not beating Dyson and Bogey out for minutes at the two. So it's kind of a role that only a Kobe, a Veet, or like a Keaton Wallace can fill. You want to keep that open for Kobe. I don't know that too many vets are gonna be like hurting for like literally 10 minutes a game, like 10, 12 minutes a game. But Kobe, you don't want to.
Which is why Tyus Jones is not a
Yeah,
Hawk.
I was about to say
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why Tyus isn't a Hawk. You want to keep that slot open that Kobe can fill whenever he is ready. And 10, 12 minutes of V and like a couple of minutes of Keaton is not going to kill you until then.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the list of available point guards.
There's nobody out there.
Headliner obviously is Markelle Fultz, and then you got the Jewish Patrick Beverly, Dennis Smith Jr. We talked about, Hawks legend Trent Forrest, Isaiah Thomas, AIA, Ashton Higgins, Kentucky guard. No, I'm joking. Nico Mannion, deep cut.
Hey, but
Nix, I still don't know how to say his name. Ty
Hey, I'm not
Washington.
gonna
I don't
lie,
even know
though.
which one it is.
not gonna lie, this might be unpopular. I wouldn't mind IT because we're not expecting him to play that much. It's just like
No.
a stopgap type shit.
I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to shut you down. I know it's not one of the rules of Impact.
Like I get what
Yes
you
to
like. I
what you're
yeah, like I
saying,
get what
but,
you're
yeah.
saying, but
I just
You know,
don't
just-
think it's like I don't know Trey's backup role at this
You
point.
just need,
you
like
can
you
just
say,
put
you
a
just need
defender there,
somebody. Yeah,
and none of those like IT is not a defender, brother. Like,
I mean,
he's-
yes, sir, but
and-
I vouch for DSJ first. I'm still on DSJ.
no,
team.
I hear you, but I don't know. At that point, if you're going to DSJ, like I feel like Keaton Wallace can come play some defense for a little bit.
yeah, or just like
like
at that point, you
And-
just kind of give Kobe the job,
yeah,
and
yeah,
And just
yeah.
see what happens. Like,
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
even if he's like, I don't project him to be dog water. You know what I mean? Like I expect him
Yeah.
to be fine at the very least. And
Realistically, if he's
you know what I mean? If he's
not
fine, that's
ready,
good enough for
that
me.
just means he's going to go stand in the corner. But he can still play defense at a suitable level. But
Exactly.
not ready means he's just not going to be running the offense, which is fine. He really doesn't need to be doing that anyway. I'm not in a big rush for that. He needs to really earn his stripes out there. Like, if you want the ball, get a steal, get a rebound, and cut and show you can score. Because last year, I mean, he got a little bit of a shot. I know he's coming off a thumb injury, so he's probably out of rhythm. But it was a little rough, right? He's got to get out there and show that he can contribute in ways outside of scoring.
He has
That's
to
most
stay healthy.
important anyway. Like, I'm sorry. If you're not one of the top 4 guys on a roster, like, you really should be trying to contribute other ways anyway.
Yeah, in whatever way you can, whatever that looks like. And I think that part of the reason they drafted him is because of, and I talked about this, when we drafted him, even before we drafted him, because I didn't think we were going guard anyways, was how can you impact the game if your shot's not falling? How can you impact the game if you're not a primary offensive option? when you're on the floor. And it's the rebounding, it's the knowing where to be defensively despite his young age, it's the on ball defense, the off ball defense, it's the communication, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I think he'll be an asset, even if he's not ready to be the primary initiator in the second unit. And he shouldn't be on a team that's trying to win. A second year player that didn't play at all last year should not be initiating with the second unit if you're trying to win.
Yeah.
And honestly, that second unit is going to have people that make so much more money than him that he's going to be passing the ball around to the corner anyway, because DeAndre Hunter and Bogey and Clint or whoever the starters are still out there, like he's gonna be the fifth option pretty much every second he's on the floor. So I'm not, and the second he's not the fifth option is because he's been balling, right? And then he can shoot. But until then, man,
if he earns that, like if he earns his way and like up into the top 8 option, like just optionally, if that makes sense, then hey, I mean, what can I say? I'll be happy to know that he finds his way into that top 8. So hey, a win is a win.
Then, go play some defense, move around, as Rashad McKenzie said.
Hit your corner threes, please. Hit your catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Really, one thing that as soon as we got Dyson, I was really excited for 48 minutes of point of attack defending. So I'm not even thinking about Kobe's offense. Like offense has not been our issue. I don't think Kobe going on the floor and not being able to score is something going to make us a bad offense, even if that's the case, right? And if he can't score, we're just going to leave Trey on the floor or Bogey on the floor, and Kobe will watch. But having a guy that can stop the ball on the floor for a complete game, like we talk about 48 minutes of the center play that the Hawks had, right? How that was so great because our backup was starter qualities, so we were getting above average value at the center. We're getting point of attack defending for a full game now, and I don't know if we've ever had that. Like maybe like DeLon Wright when we got it for his minutes, and that was basically it for the Trey era. So.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to move on to, I think, another piece of news that was mentioned. Like, so Landry Fields did not mention, well, I think he did mention this, I should say, that Onyeka Okongwu wasn't 100% yet. And even in his own interview, Onyeka did not say that he wasn't fully ready yet to start the season. Like he was still, ramping up and stuff. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I am kind of surprised by that, to be honest with you, but
I got this, fellas. Back up.
All right, go ahead again.
I got this, guys. Sit back. Relax. I got this. Onyeka fan club, it's time to have a talk. It's time to have a serious chat. Now, I want to put this disclaimer out before people try to say I'm an Onyeka hater. I am not. I'm not. But I will say...
That's exactly what an Onyeka hater would say.
All right, buddy. But I want to point out he is going into year 6. Now, granted, injuries happen. You can't really prevent some injuries.
5.
Yeah, it's 5.
Oh,
yeah.
He's going into year 5. My bad. He's going into year 5.
Get the facts straight before you hate.
He's going into year 5, and
hate accurately.
You can argue why he has not taken that starting spot yet. I personally felt like when he first got here, he had no real path to take that starting spot because Clint was still good then. So those first 2 years, after that, when Clint had his third heel injury, you kind of look at it as like, now this spot is yours. But him going into year 5 hurt is messing him up badly because I've said it again on Twitter, said it again in group chats. Onyeka is in his proven year. Now, we don't know if he's going to come back. If he's at 70%, I project him to be back by week 3. That might be hopeful thinking or whatever, but I project him to be back by week 3, maybe latest week 5. Week 5. I'll say week 5. But
I don't know, man. It's a toe injury. We'll see.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, his spot, that starting spot was very up for grabs. I feel we can't. I've said it, like I said last episode, we can't use the politics role anymore because Clint is on an expiring. So show us, and I say us as in the front office, Quinn and other, show us why we feel like you need to
Nah,
be.
show us.
Yeah, show us too why you need to be the starting center moving forward. Because from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like the Hawks have seen what they wanted from Onyeka to truly trust him in that spot. So now that Clint is on his last year, you just got extended. Show us why we need to keep you around to be this starting center, or will you always be our backup? So I feel like it's time to get the expectations in check. If Onyeka has a bad season or not a up to par season or to what we really projected him to be, then it's time to have some talks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's in shape or health or what exactly is going on with the toe. I know toes aren't great for bigs, especially a thicker dude like Onyeka. He's when he's going up and down. I mean, there's a lot of force, right? And he, if his toe is hurt, then he's not going to be in shape, right? So there could be some we can get in shape and get out on the floor and make an impact this season. But I do agree with you. It is most likely the put up or shut up year for Double O. Today's NBA teams don't like to trade guys on expiring contracts, but you get them on a deal that looks really good that people have been trying to get apparently already. The Pelicans were very interested, and I know they were talking about him in the DJ deal. A lot of us thought we might be getting some type of Herb Jones back. I mean, if I'm giving up Double O, but that's neither here nor there. What I will say is that he does have to show something this year, and if he doesn't, all right, you do have Clint expiring, you have a bunch of picks, and there's going to be somebody moving to center. There's Nick Claxton who just signed his deal. Honestly, personally, well, no, I don't know about Kessler. That's the money doesn't lie up there. Well, maybe, but I know Bam is really good at basketball, and the Heat are in a really weird position right now where Jimmy Butler is an expiring contract, so they don't have a superstar lined up for next season. The Heat could look to maybe restart their timeline a little bit, and Onyeka's deal kind of would make sense for them if they need 3-4 years to get it right. You get some picks. That Lakers pick might look really good in January, and I think if you could put Bam Adebayo in that front court, I think that accomplishes a lot of what Quinn's trying to do now in general, but you get the best defender in the NBA next to a top 3-4 offensive player in the NBA, and now the Hawks would be really interesting.
I think it's really just two things with Onyeka. Like, on one hand, I get the criticism. Like, yes, he's not aggressive enough. Like, he's shown that he's injury prone. He's too short. He's not a great rebounder. But at the same time, like, there have been so many times where he has shown himself to be like a really good offensive force, a really physical player at points. Like, the game against Houston last year where he just completely dominated Sengun was just probably, I think, one of his best games of his career. And also, like, he has never really been in a consistent development system, I think, ever during his time as a Hawk. He has had 3 head coaches, right? Because he's been here since Lloyd Pierce, basically, right? Because Pierce was here in 2020, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, he has had 3 head coaches.
He's had 3 head coaches.
And it's unfortunate that he's never really had a healthy offseason except just, I think, 1 year, and that's it. And the 1 year that he did have a healthy offseason, he was really good. And it's just disappointing to see that this is just happening to him. I think I said in the previous episode, to me, it's just, if he can't really prove that he could be a starter at this point, I think you may have to just trade him if he wants to be that starter and make him go to a better place. Like, maybe he can go to the Heat. I don't see us getting Bam Adebayo anytime soon because I don't think they're going to ever trade him because I think Bam's going to be like the Heat's, franchise player, basically. But I just don't see the path for Onyeka starting right now. And I think the real question is, going forward, is that if Clint's starting, then how is the lineup going to work, basically? Because
It won't,
I
but
mean,
it'll do what it has to do for 4 minutes, and then they'll
I
run
mean,
their good lineups like they usually do.
it could. I think it will work. It's just that it's gonna be interesting if they just play Dyson and Clint together, which I don't think will work that well to start.
So it won't work.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, probably. So we'll just see what happens. It's just I really like Onyeka as a player because I think even during his draft, like he was considered to be one of the most talented players. It's just kind of unfortunate to see how some of the things are going lately.
Yeah, it's just his health. Like if he's healthy, he's almost as good as he was advertised. I mean, he still has the elite finishing and
Yeah.
touch markers. Like he tends to finish everything around the rim, which is the biggest thing. One of the bigger issues we have with the center position, our current starter. So he has the movement skills. He can defend on the perimeter a little bit. He has a decent feel for the game. He can make the right pass, operate in the DHO. So he does all the things that, Quinn wants out of his center, minus rebounding, which is kind of like the main center thing. And of course, being available. So, I always say the best ability is availability. If I use that to fault Dre every 5 minutes, I got to use it to fault OO, especially in a year where, I mean, yeah, you got paid, but at the end of the day, man, if you claim you want to start and you're not 100%, like you can't. I can't just give it to you. And the fact that he hasn't been able to take that job from Clint is more telling than anything else. Like Chris brought up in the last episode, maybe they're trying to build this team to soften the weaknesses that Ojo has on the defensive end, especially his rebounding and his size. And you got multiple guys who can operate as the low man. You traded in theory, Sadiq and DJ, two guys who, I mean, are about as bad as Trey, operating as the low man for Dyson, who's going to be really good, and Zach, who's going to be decent, and Kobe, who at the end of the day will stick his nose in there. He'll be on time. He'll probably get ran over. He might get finished over, but step one is being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and he at least has that. So.
Yeah, this is my last thing I'm gonna add on the. I don't want to pile it on because then I'm actually sound like a real hater. Like I said, OO's not taking the job. It's telling. It's whatever. Like I said, injuries happen. It cooked them because you definitely needed to be healthy starting this season because I'm pretty sure everybody but 1 and 4 was up for grabs. I feel like Quinn was very much in the mindset of you're going to work for the starting spot, and we'll make the decision, whoever wants it. I am on board if the Heat decided to just get rid of Bam or just like, hey, we just got a full on reset, get what we can right now. I feel like we have a solid package for Bam. I feel like if Onyeka is in that package, which he probably will, I feel like Onyeka going to the Heat would probably benefit them, but they also just got Khalil Ware, so you never know.
Yeah.
Like I said though, this is Onyeka's make or break it year. Really, I think it's fair. I'm gonna give him till deadline. I expect him to be playing by then, so we'll go from there and see.
All right. So before we end this off, does anyone have any favorite media day moments they have?
Everybody praising Dyson. Can't go wrong with a good old Dyson praise.
I love that Larry Nance asked, who was it? I gotta remember who it was. I think he asked one of the players what was their favorite sushi place in Atlanta. Let me actually find out real quick what it was.
I'm pretty sure it was Double O.
Yeah, Double O. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love it when players ask other players stuff on media day. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the general, everyone bringing up how fast they're going to play. I really like that. But I did like Trey, like, kind of I don't know who asked the last question in his, and he just kind of like refused to answer it. But they were like, if you would change any rule in the NBA, like what would you do, or what rule would you change? And I know he's thinking about the free throw rules and stuff, and he's like, he wanted to say it, but he just like kind of ran the clock out and then got off the stage. I was like, it's a nice exit, but yeah, he had a little fun with that one.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to say that my favorite moment from Medium Day was Landry Fields saying that Zach and Dyson are the guys. I don't know if y'all heard him say it, but I heard him say that Zach and Dyson are starting at the 2 and 3. I don't know. I don't know if that's what he said, but that's what I heard, and that was my favorite part of the day.
Allegedly,
for sure.
You have to say allegedly before you say
said something.
now,
he said something.
No. But honestly, the truth is hearing both Dyson and Kobe talk about watching film to figure out how to guard guys defensively and figuring out players' tendencies and that kind of stuff is really important if you're going to try to build a defensive identity. Something the Hawks haven't had in very close to a decade. So.
That's
what we need very badly.
Dyson said that he wanted to get first team All NBA. That was
Yeah.
great. I like hearing that. Or first team All Defense. Sorry, first team All NBA would be insane. First team All Defense is what I think we all have envisioned for him, and he has the chance to do it, right, with the way he played last year, with an expanded role. That's definitely something he could accomplish. Well, actually, I don't think they give first team defense to guards anymore, so he'll be on the second team at best. They just give it to defenders, bro, because of rebounds.
I think they gave Jalen Suggs this year, first team.
No, it was all bigs.
That's crazy.
The second team was all guards and forwards. Herb Jones, I think, was smallest guy
it was
on first
Herb.
team.
It was like what, Herb and all bigs.
Yeah. Herb was the smallest guy on first team.
Okay. Well, he's coming for that. He's coming for that all defense next.
He might be going for Herb's spot. Now he ain't behind him now.
Yeah. More excitement, man. Just want to point out. Remember, first game is next week.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. That's gonna be exciting.
First preseason game.
That's crazy.
Very much next week.
That's
crazy.
Time flies.
Gotta
it really does.
Sign up for Bally again.
Oh, don't remind me.
I mean, there are other ways, but
we don't promote that on this podcast.
We don't promote that. Sadly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, shout out Bankrupt Valley Sports. Make sure you get your Bankrupt Valley Sports account.
All right.
Whatever.
Love a good $20.
Unless you want to sponsor us, Bally.
Oh yeah, before we do close out, thoughts and prayers out to the Matumbo family for sure. Shout out
100%.
R.I.P.
Mount Matumbo. Rest in peace to one of the greatest players to put on a Hawks jersey, man. Most of us. Chris is the only one who can speak from experience. He's old,
first of all,
but
only one.
I remember he had a great finger whack commercial back in the day. Was really tearing it up. But yeah, man, it's funny enough because even when I was hooping around Atlanta as a youngster, you would see guys get blocks and do the finger web just because we're from Atlanta, So,
even if you never watched him, everyone knows about him, the finger wagging stuff. He's just so iconic.
Iconic.
Facts.
I just remember. I just watched a few games of his, and it's just he was just so dominant in his prime. He's man, I just wish we had someone like him back on this team again.
Hey man, the Hawks
hold that Lakers pick hostage and get Anthony Davis, baby.
Yeah, that the Hawks very much need to. I expect them to do something for him this season, because it's only right. Every other team has did it for their iconic player. Let's go ahead and bring back those Matumbo jerseys too while we're at it. Feel like that's only right too.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some of my favorites for sure.
I feel like that's only right.
Yeah, I like the bird. I like the bird on the jerseys. I don't like the minimalist jerseys these days. I'd like to get back to the 90s style.
Cool. Yes. Can we get back to cool things? I really enjoy cool things.
Yeah. Just don't bring back those sleeves, the jerseys with the sleeves. Just don't.
Oh,
keep
those are
away.
terrible. Yeah,
Keep those away.
terrible.
Far
Gilbert
away.
Gilbert said a non-athlete invented those. He was like, they won't think about you shooting with sleeves on. Yeah, that won't get in the way at all.
But does anyone have any final thoughts before we close out for real this time?
Oh, we're watching you, buddy. Every time every time you hit the court, I'm watching you.
Final thoughts. I won't say that I'm singling OO out, but I do generally play the trade game, and currently where I'm coming up is the 5. Yeah, I think it makes the most sense when you have Dyson, who's a young lottery pick, and you have Zach, who's the number 1 pick. Jalen they love. Trey is Trey, right? OO is the guy who really has to prove it this year, and if not, I mean, you got picks, and Clint's expiring, so I'm looking at 5s this year. I'm going to be monitoring the league and see who comes up.
Yeah,
Comes available.
47 wins, 0-0. I just watched that game you had against the Celtics. I still believe, man. I just need you to stay healthy. I need you to stay healthy so bad because we finally got a team that can allow you to play your brand of basketball, and I really want to be able to see you do that. Until then, Larry Nance. We're gonna have a lot of fun seeing you in that short row, buddy. I can't wait.
Nance looks like he'll be a leader on this team too. He's been pretty vocal so far.
he loves
Saw him in
Atlanta
some
already.
Twitter
That's
stuff,
crazy.
doing the media
And
days.
him and Dyson already have some real chemistry.
Mm-hmm. And 00 apparently, and obviously he and 00 and Jalen have chemistry. Trey's been building it with guys, so everybody look they're having fun in these videos, man. It's up right now. We up.
Yeah,
Everybody's having fun.
My final thought
Everybody's
is
having fun in training camp, buddy. Everybody's having fun in training camp.
Unlike that other bird's training camp.
a lot of optimism right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
we're
that
tied
time
for
of the year,
first,
buddy.
baby. We're tied for first.
Yeah.
Shout out to the undefeated Hawks.
Yeah.
Nobody does it like us.
My final thought is, I'm interested to see how Dominic Barlow plays this year. I think he could be really good.
Yeah, put your stocks in Barlow.
Him and Moji finna tear the G League up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, look, brother, Dominic Barlow is draining some threes in that camp clip with a bunch of guys closing out. And I'll just say that if the Hawks find one big that can hit a corner 3, it is over.
Yep,
You're
over.
never defending Trae Young again. Good luck.
World champions, here we come.
Yeah.
Larry Nance is already on the roster. What do you
That's the
mean?
dream.
42% from 3 last season. Call a spade a spade.
Larry Nance is a 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you say so.
But thank you for everyone for listening. We'll see you next time here on Hard Knock Hawks.
Oh.
All
All right. All right, buddy.